Thanks again for staying with us on the show TMI Monday. Well, 24th of this month was World Polio Day 2020. So on the show today, we're doing some retrospection on how that day was celebrated and what it means for the world, what it means for Nigeria and Edo State in terms of the fight against polio. I have with me in the studio the President, Rotary Club of Benin. I'd like to thank very specially Rotarian Hussein Oshobuge, who is a Paul Harris Fellow. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
He's also the CEO of Hostum Technology. Well, that's not what we're talking about. If he wants us to talk about that, we'll charge him some good money. Thank you, Hussein, for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us Barrister Nusa Edo-Sage, who is the Assistant Governor. Well, thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we also have another Rotarian boy. He's backstage. He'll be joining us in the concluding stage of the conversation. World Polio Day, what is this about? Let me begin with Hussein.
Yeah, World Polio Day is a day we celebrate polio-free environment. Like we all know now, Africa as a whole is 100% polio-free. And we're trying to keep it at 0 level. So polio is a disease which the world has been fighting for years. Poliomyelitis causes serious deformity in children, mostly the age between 5 below. So we as Rotary have been partnering with government institutions, other organizations to see how this disease can be kicked away from the world. And we are this close to eradicating it completely from the entire world. As we speak, we only have 2 countries that are still recording few cases of poliomyelitis, which is Pakistan and
Afghanistan.
Those 2 countries are still reporting cases. But as we speak right now, Nigeria is 100% polio-free, which calls for a very big celebration. And Africa too is 100% polio-free.
Fantastic. Let me come to Barrister Nusa. In the fight against polio, where are we right now in terms of the indices of measurement of Nigeria being polio-free? I recall some years back, we had this same story. This same news came, and it was greeted with a whole lot of celebration. And then few weeks or months down the line, we heard a reported case in one of the states in the north and stuff. So how sustainable is this new development with Nigeria being declared polio-free, Africa being declared polio-free?
Thank you very much. First of all, let me say we have come a long way, and we've achieved so much success has been recorded. Let me go to your question. We had a relapse, in Bunduru State particularly, the northern part of the country, because of the insurgency, where we had there, the Boko Haram issues and what have you. But beyond that, as I speak right now, anchoring from what my club president has just said, Nigeria is the last African country, to be certified polio-free, and it's a big deal. And it's been celebrated worldwide. The 2 countries remaining, like Afghanistan and the Pakistan that you've just been mentioned. Yes, relapses do occur. How do they occur? Don't forget that this is a very contagious disease, by nature. And sometimes, when you think you are done, if you have an introduction, from anywhere else, then you start from 0. So that is why at this stage we are now, we have turned from red to blue. That is to make sure we ensure that we are keeping the polio at 0. And from history, we had the polio, the polio plus, kick polio out. All these are various mantras, that we have used, to pursue the disease. And Rotary has played a very major role, in particular, in the whole world here, and UNICEF recognizes that. You don't forget, it's the largest charitable organization in the world, made up of businessmen and professional people, so we've come a long way. And answering your question point blank, yes, we still have a lot of job to do to keep it at 0. The Afghanistan we just talked about, and the Pakistan. What actually, while they are still, having the endemic, is the fact that suppose those countries are not too stable, and again too, they have history of rumors. People think that like when you vaccinate somebody, probably you made the person infertile, and what have you. And again too, largely poor sanitary hygiene, activities, in the countries. And poor, health, government programs, that has, but I can assure you, in no distant time, the world will completely, eradicated, just like you had smallpox. Smallpox in the past, was a global thing, but I assure you now, smallpox does not even exist anymore.
It's not a thing of the past.
It's a thing of the past.
All right, let me come to President Hussein. What major activity was carried out to mark World Polio Day 2020, or was this also consumed by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has become a major challenge for humanitarian work globally?
True.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a rally to celebrate the day. There was also supposed to be a marathon to also mark that day, to send the signals out, send the news out about why we should keep polio at 0. But because of the troubled period, all these activities could not come forth. But the marathon was still done virtually in some areas in the country. But what we are planning to do now, we still have plans to let the public know that polio needs to be kept at 0.
Okay.
So for this week, we have some other projects lined up, like we're going to still carry out immunization in some certain health areas, and we're also going to do publicity in terms of carrying out walks. We'll walk around some areas in Benin City to let the public know that, look, polio is out, but we need to keep it at 0.
You want to add something to that?
Yes, please. Just in addition, I must say that the state government has a very robust program, for polio eradication, and we met with Dr. Patrick Kundia, the health commissioner, of course, and with his able lieutenants, a few days ago, and he, gave us the full program, of the state, and the immunization is even headed by the Deputy Governor, Right Honorable Philip Shuaibu, to show the extent of seriousness the state government has for it, and we are quite pleased, So it's a good deal, that we are certified polio free.
Fantastic. We'll take a short break. Of course, you know that the hashtag #EndSARS protest is a major issue that's been in the front burner. It's given us a whole lot of fallouts that we're seeing today with the looting of warehouses, whether private, public, or government, of food items and all of that. And just to give you some pictorial remembrance of all that transpired in the last couple of days and weeks, and we'll be right back on the show, TMI, as we have one of the team, member of the team that came to also interface with us on this conversation on World Polio Day 2020. Stay with me. Okay, we thank you for staying with us on the show. Lovely Monday morning. We're still looking at the World Polio Day 2020, which of course you know that the Rotary Club International has become a major arrowhead in ensuring that polio is eradicated from the world completely. What we have now is just 2 countries left, and then Uhuru will be celebrated ultimately. But I have Rotarian Emmanuel Ukbeifo, who is in charge of Rotary Foundation, joining this last line of our conversation. Thank you for joining us, Rotarian Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so what is the Rotary Club Foundation about, and what specific projects are you embarking on, and how are you going about those projects at this point in time?
As a matter of fact, Rotary Foundation of Rotary International is a body that we raise funds to take care of all the needs of Rotary International. These funds are gotten from members, from volunteers, most especially We have the Bill Gates and Melina's Foundation, who also donates to this body, Rotary International.
Yes,
and it's 2 to 1. Whatever we raise, $1 that we have, we put into from each Rotarian into this into the Rotary Foundation is being doubled by Bill Gates and Melina Foundation. So, because they know what we do, how we help people in the society, not only within our locality, but all over the world.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, Basanosa, you also want add something to that?
Yes, essentially what the foundation chair is saying is that the Rotary Foundation, raises funds for Rotary International. So all the good works Rotary International does is essentially, done by Rotary Foundation. Foundation is a body on its own, with regards to, fund sourcing.
Okay.
Like I just mentioned, there are very numerous people, across the world, who, support Rotary cause, which is the biggest charitable organization in the world.
Fantastic. What projects are we embarking on now in line with the mandate of the foundation? Let me come to Rotary and Emmanuel.
Yeah, for us, Rotary Club of Benin, we have a lot of projects that we want to execute in this Rotary year, 2020-2021, which my president has just left, is the president of the club of this 2020-2021 year. We are going to provide libraries to schools. In that library, we are going to equip the library with books and all the requirements for the library to function. And we're going to drill boreholes in localities or in villages far away from Benin, like we did last year. We went as far as there's a village that we can never remember, can't remember the name. Ukpeshi.
Okay.
To drill borehole for them, and they were all happy. We provided a generator to power this borehole for them. So these are the funds that is being used for these projects.
Okay, Basanosa, who can donate? Anybody, everybody?
Anybody and everybody can donate. As a matter of fact, donation is not exclusive rights of the rich or the privileged, in as much as you live, you are living, you have that liberty, to make donations, no matter how big or no matter how small. Rotary encompasses, free will, of human beings, So it is important, to state clearly, that everybody and anybody can donate, and again too, it doesn't have to be cash, it could be in kind. If perhaps you have some skills, you can go to a classroom, and counsel, students or pupils, on the need of certain things, So donations actually is worldwide, it's global, and it's open to everybody, including your good self, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. If you just joined us, it's TMI Monday, and I've been talking with top executives of Rotary Club of Benin. We're here to reflect on the 2020 World Rotary Day, World Polio Day, I beg your pardon, in which we've gotten reports that Nigeria and Africa have been declared polio-free. True. And across the world, we just have two countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan, that are still riddled with the challenge of polio. And that's because of the instability in government there, weak institution, and a host of other factors. But we're grateful to God that Nigeria has been declared free. Absolutely. And that it's still work in progress. Even when it's declared free, you need to continue to do what you do to sustain it, so that that report remains a permanent thing. Let me get a final word from you before I let you go, Rotarian Emmanuel. Yes, particularly as it relates to what the Rotary Foundation is doing.
What the Rotary Foundation is doing now is like providing drugs, providing clean borehole water for communities. Most especially, we have a lot of communities in our area, whereby that we cover. We cover these areas, whereby maybe the government is not able to get to that area. You see, the Rotary Club, Rotary International, will be able to assess that area and provide all the necessary requirements in terms of medicine, in terms of taking care of them, treatment, and even providing our doctors who volunteer themselves to render these services to this community. And also we provide boreholes to community who doesn't have. So if we have any of them in the community, I mean, that are not passing through this same process, difficulty of clean water,
Yeah.
they can reach us, Rotary Club International,
Okay.
reach the Rotary Club of Benin. We're able to do what we can do for them.
Fantastic. So in other words, it is not Rotary Club International or the foundation that decides this project. It's a community that should write to the organization requesting for this support. That's how it goes.
Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Let me get a final word from Barrister Nusa. We'll call it a wrap now.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'm glad I need to thank you for having us this morning. My own prayer is that we should make ourselves available to immunization. That is infants, under the age 0 to 5 years, should make yourself available to immunization, because so that you can prevent your kids from crippling poliomyelitis disease, which we know today that does not have a cure, but is preventable. But in addition to that, to support the Rotary cause so that we can be able to do much good, to the society,
Fantastic.
not only building houses or schools and what have you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Rotarian Barrister Nusa Dosagi. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And Rotarian Emmanuel Okbeaifo, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And the president himself, Rotarian Hussein Shobugi, thank you for being a part of the program. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. It's still TMI Monday.